Commonwealth of Virginia that the next president to make appointments to the Supreme Court of the United States will be President Donald Trump. So these are challenging times, and I'm deeply humbled to have the opportunity to speak before you today. I truly am. And I want to tell you, we said yes the night that call came because I think this country's in a lot of trouble. I walked away from a job that I love and the state that I love to step into this fight because I think now is the time for all of us to do all that we can, because that choice is so clear. And I'm really here today not really to give a speech. I'm here to challenge you. I challenge you in what remains of this election to take ownership of your own future. Take ownership of this moment. And understand that there's no place for believers on the sidelines in a time like this. As Chuck Colson said, as C.S. Lewis said, this is a time for courage. It's a time to step forward. A friend of mine sent me an email just this morning. He talked about a day where he was on a 25-foot boat out in the middle of the Atlantic. And he was at the helm of that little sailing boat. And the tempest was blowing right in his face. And he wanted for all the world to turn the rudder and start to head back to shore. And the skipper below shouted up to him, "Stay the course." And it made all the difference. And he made it home because he didn't turn aside from the challenge. And I would submit to each and every one of you, when you think about this choice and how dramatic it is, now's the time to stay the course. Not to flinch in the face of harsh political winds. Not to step off on the sidelines, but rather to become engaged. I was told just on the way out here that's only about a half a mile to a little place where you can make some phone calls. You can figure out where you can go knock on some doors. I encourage you to find a way to do it if you're so inclined. If what I've said to you today resonates with your heart and with your mind, then go put it into practice. Because we're talking about your future. And the choice is really not between one party that'll take you this far and another party that'll just take you that far. You know, sometimes, to be honest with you, I know it never happens in Virginia, but sometimes there's not a dime's worth of difference between the people that are on the ballot. You know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, it seems like sometimes, well, it won't really be very different who wins. This isn't such a time. I mean, this election is a choice between whether we're going to continue to go downhill to a weaker America at home and abroad, to a struggling American economy that walks farther away from our most cherished constitutional principles and ideals, or whether we are going to stop and plant our feet and march back up the hill to a stronger America, a freer America, a more prosperous America built on the foundation of our constitutional principles. That's the choice. It's up or down. And so I want to encourage you to take action, to roll your sleeves up, and do one more thing, if you will. And that is, as so many of you in this room are inclined to do, as Karen and I do on a regular basis, it's a good time to pray, to bow the head and bend the knee. I believe in all of my heart that the effective and fervent prayer of a righteous person availeth much. And I also believe that what's been true for millennia is still true today. That if his people, who are called by his name, will humble themselves and pray, he'll do as he's always done throughout our storied history. He'll hear from heaven, and he'll heal this land. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.